Okay, so hello guys, I'm again back with the new video. So in this video, we are going to see some things that will help you in programming stuff. So actually, we were inside of our this script, and we have written few lines of code. Just as you can see, get component rigid body dot velocity equal to new vector 3. So these are actually the code which is written in order to instantiate the movement. Now let's get back to the scene. So as you can see that it's the same thing, just I have changed the body from capsule to like a sphere, because I liked it. And the plane is the same. Okay, so what we are going to do is, let's just play this and check how it look like. So as you can see that when you press the space bar, it goes upwards, and when you press the forward button or up button, it goes like this. And so it's basically the same things which were happening in the previous video. So let me again play this. So you press the right button, so it goes to the right and get falls down. So this is the rigid body. Actually, I have added to this sphere as well, as compared to the capsule which I had added earlier. So now what we're going to do is, for all the directions movement, I'm going to just write the code inside of the script and attach it to this sphere. So let's go inside of that, and now we are going to copy this a bunch of if statements here in order to reuse this. So now just control V. Now for the right, we have space up right. Now I'm going to assign it for the down one. So for the down one, we have this one, and get component rigid body velocity, and then I'm going to assign it the value of -5. So you can also negate the coordinates if you want, so that it acts accordingly. So okay, so let's control and save it. And also I'm going to write for the left one. So just we have copied this, and now control plus V in order to paste this. And for the left one, I am going to write the left, and for the rigid body, I'm just going to negate the x-axis for the negative value of -5, and then control plus S save. So we have written the code for all the directions. Now let's just check it. So it's compiling and refreshing the script because we have made the changes. Now let's see. Just wait a little for the changes to actually happen, and when then we are going to play that. So let's play this one. So down for down, up for up value, right for right, left for left, and then for space, we are going to just tap into the space. So as you can see, we have written code for all the things here, and we have also added the gravity properties and rigid body component in order to just get the values to work. So it is moving in all the directions, as you can see, but let's just stop it. Okay, so what I'm going to share is that, as you can see here, this get component rigid body, so this is getting called one by one, again and again and again, from this if statement to this if statement to this if statement to this one, so and so on. So it's kind of a like, uh, we should be able to do something for this one, right? So what we will going to do is just, there's a concept where you can actually declare the values and use it. So for the rigid body, I'm going to declare this rigid body variable, and then we are going to use that. So the rigid body RB. So let's name it as RB. And after that, what we are going to do is, in the start function, we are going to just equate the RB value to get component. Okay, so the get, wait, so the get component, and rigid rigid body so that we can use it further in our program in order to enhance the reusability and to shorten our code. Now just replace that with the RB. Again for this one we are going to replace it with the RB. Again for this one we are going to replace this big thing with the RB. Again for this one I'm to replace with the RB, and for this one we are going to replace with the RB value. And now control plus S in order to save the script, and then just go to your Unity. Okay, so sub screen, let's increase the size of our screen to full width, like full screen. I think it's for the better view. And now when you press the play button, then you can see that everything is working as exactly as before. So in order to just reduce that code, we have just declared a variable called RB, assigned it some value, and then use that value in order to shorten our code and enhance the reusability, and to introduce the concept of um, uh, the declaration of the variables. So as you can see that everything is working as it was. And I actually took a better example because I think that the sphere was like this sphere is preferably good as compared to the capsule one, as we are making a game. So now what I'm going to tell you is that, so this rigid body RB, and then we have assigned this equated to the get component rigid body, and then we have just used this RB value here again and again, rb dot velocity, in order to just reduce the length of our code. But as you can see this declaration rigid body, there are some other declaration types as well. So for example, int, there's actually int odd number. So for integer type declaration you actually do the this type of thing. So for the odd number declaration, you for integer declaration you actually use the int prefixed by odd number and then equal to 3, so that in this way you can use the odd number like you can use the integer values. So now there's also a declaration called as boolean. So boolean condition is either false, it can be true as well. So it's kind of a binary value. So as you know, the binary values are actually from like either 0 or either 1, either true or either false. So it's like that. Now there's actually also the values which is called as float or double. Okay, so the float values are actually the point values. Float or double values, double are actually for the bigger sizes. So suppose you have to take a point value. Okay, so what you actually do is float f equal to 5. You can actually assign it like this, like 5.0. So you can actually do this. Okay, and assign it this the value of 5.0 f, or you can just use this float dec equal to 5.0 f. So these are the float, and for the there's actually called as a string values. So for the string text equal to the string. So these are the string declaration types. So you can use the string values like this one. You can declare the string values like string text equal to string. So this is the value, this string value which is included in double quotes is actually the value of this text declaration, as you can see. So let's remove it. So these are the key things that I wanted to tell you in this lecture. Now control s plus save it. Now one thing I would let you know is that inside of the Unity, let it just refresh. And now, so as you can see that it's actually refreshing. So as you can see that the field player movement dot odd number is assigned, but its value is never used, which is actually true because we haven't used the this odd number value anywhere. So don't worry, this is actually a casual warning. So what we will actually do is just go to this edit section, And after edit sections, you can just go to this project settings. So the project settings, there's actually some quality values. You can actually change the value of it. Nonetheless, we will not bother much. There's something called as input manager. So inside of that, as you can see that there's different kind of the key values that is actually present here: horizontal, vertical, fire 1, fire 2, fire 3, jump, mouse x and mouse y, and so on the values. So these horizontal values have certain kind of value, predefined value, which are assigned to them so that we can actually use. So you can see there has x. So this horizontal thing has assigned to the x axis here. There are several kind of values which you can change, but I will recommend it to just have default value of x-axis. Now similarly, for the vertical, as you can see that here's actually the default value which has been set for the vertical, and it is for the y-axis. Okay, wait, there's some problem. I think this is x-axis. Okay, and we can change it for the y-axis. So the vertical thing can be set up for the y-axis like this one. And yeah, as you can see that fire 1, fire 2 and everything has certain kind of default values which is assigned to it, like sensitivity and all that stuff, so that you can change it and then implement it in your code. So we are going to just do exactly like that. So let's open our script. And now what we are going to do is what we are going to do is just see some things which a beginner should know. So we have declared this rigid body RB, and now what we are going to do is, like, we have also declared this RB equal to get component rigid body, and now just we want to reduce that code. Okay, so let's just assign some kind of values. Float, um, just take a movement speed value. Okay, so this movement speed value is, we are using the 6f value. Okay, and now we are going to use another value, float jump force. Okay, so for the jumping we are going to use this one default value as 5f, and both these values are in the 5f, and we leave everything as same. And now after that, what we are actually going to do is, so just remove these values. Okay, remove these things, and now just do this float one. Okay, so float horizontal input, we are going to take the horizontal input, declare the horizontal input value, and then input dot get axis. So input, or not the horizontal input, it's actually the input one. So input, I'm not going to assign this one. So this auto recommendation thing must be kept off. Get get axis, we are going to get the value of the horizontal one. So the horizontal axis, we are going to take the value inside of the horizontal input by declaring it a float value, and then float vertical input, we have assigned this value as at y axis. So vertical input we are going to take. Oh, that's a big problem, man. Let's just copy this whole line, and then control plus v, we are going to paste this one, and then we are going to use the vertical values. Okay, so now we are going to assign the rigid body values velocity equal to mu vector c. And now we're going to just use our the horizontal input values, horizontal input, and for the movement speed we are going to multiply it, like we are representing the x, y, and z axis, and we are going to manipulate the values for the movement speed, at what movement speed the ball is, or the sphere which is present in our game is going to move, and in what direction and at what speed. We are going to just manipulate it in our x, y, and z axis. Okay, so rb dot velocity we have used, and new vector 3 horizontal input into movement speed as we have declared above. So movement speed, comma, rb dot velocity which is present in the y-axis dot y. So, and similarly for this one we are going to just use the for the z-axis, we are just going to use the vertical values. So for the horizontal input we are going to just remove this one, and this vertical input. So vertical input is here, our horizontal input is also here, and for the like x, y axis we are using the velocity dot y. So now we have the proper code, and suppose for if statement we are going to write another one. So input, this auto filling thing is actually very difficult for me. So the input dot get, so you we are using the get button down function, get button down dot get button down, and then inside of that we are going to use the jump keyword. Okay, so the jump um, keyword we are using, so the jump property actually we are using, and for that rb dot velocity, velocity equal to new vector 3, and inside of that we are going to use the rb dot velocity and jump rb dot velocity dot x, the value at x axis, and for this one this jump force we are going to use jump force value, and for this one rb dot velocity dot z. So the values for this one is new vector 3 rb dot velocity x, jump force rb dot velocity dot z. I mean we are using the velocity value at x axis, y axis, and z axis. So suppose there's actually, so control plus s in order to just save our script. Okay, and let's open it. So as you can see that it's still working the same. So WASD I'm actually pressing, so it's all the default values, and for space it's actually going in the upward direction. So everything is fine, and I just wanted to let you one more thing. So double click this on this one, and suppose we are going to just freeze this rotation for this one, and we want to display these values like this movement speed, we want to change that value inside of our unity window. So what we can actually do this, in order to just display these properties and change it manually inside of our window, we can just use this serialize field property. So serialize field. Serialized field you can actually use, and you can just copy this one more time and paste it here. So the type namespace serial could not be found. Are you missing a okay? So I think there's a kind of a problem. So we can also use this as public one. So removing the serialized field, you can check upon the syntax. I actually am forgetting this one. So don't worry, I'm going to update it just soon. So it's reloading the screen, and as you can see that the movement speed and the jump force is actually present here in the player movement script. We can use, or we can actually manipulate these values, like we can assign this value as 12, and then this jump force we can do that as 10. Okay, so now when we play this, you can actually see the values that is affecting the movement speed and all. So as you can see, when I'm pressing the jump or space, it's the value has changed drastically, and it's the jump values has been increased, and for s value, it's nothing. So the movement speed has also increased, and it has fallen down. So I think you have learned enough in this video. So we'll meet you in the next lesson. Please enjoy this and give a thumbs up. Thank you.